17-yard line. Cam Newton looking downfield on first down. Can't find anyone. Down he goes. Back at the 9-yard line, the ball came out. Trey Hendrickson, the rookie out of Florida Atlantic, with his first career sack.
Here for Chicago.
Might be Zach Miller time.
Trubisky sacks. Trey Hendrickson.
180. Well, that did not work as the Bills had hoped, as Taylor handed it off to the wideout Deontay Thompson.
3rd and 17. Watson. Flag is down as he was trying to make anything of it, and eventually Trey Hendrickson is the one who came up with him. 3rd and 11. Under 4.5 minutes to play, trailing by 3. Gobbled up, taken down, Trey Hendrickson. 6 sacks tonight for the Saints.
6 touches, 5 yards total. That ball's out. Picked up by the Saints and Jordan. And now they're saying incomplete pass. And they've blown it dead. Jordan's down the sideline, but Walt Anderson is saying incomplete pass, no fumble.
Now last week, 115 yards to the Rams, 180 the week before.
Here's 3rd and 13. Little screen pass. Saints in the area to stop it for a loss of a couple. Carson with the catch. Again, Davenport on the pile.
They're lining up the same way. Fake it and come out to a full zone.
Ryan has to hold it. And he's twisted down by Trey Hendrickson.
That is a great job by the Saints defense. Now they faked the blitz, came out to a regular 2-deep zone, and Matt held the ball. He was confused.
And so it's a first down. Pitch out coming to Breida, who runs into a brick wall. Wow. Trey Hendrickson.
Well, your best player is an injured player, and T.Y. Hilton is trying to go out there. He's got 1 catch for -1 yard. And now Brissett somehow stood up to that for a moment before finally being wrapped up. P.J. Williams was the first to get there, and then A.J. Klein cleaned it up.
This is a Vikings offense that runs a lot of 2 tight end sets, a lot of 2 back sets, more than any other offense in football.
Cousins sacked. Trey Hendrickson. Here's Cook. Hendrickson. He's now got his hand on the turf, ready for 3rd and 13. And Brady is sacked. Brought down from behind by Hendrickson.
If you overthrow Ruggs, you've done something. Pressure. And Carr trying to get a flag, comes in late. That's a coverage sack for sure. Trey Hendrickson able to bring him down. I think the offensive line did a great job for the Raiders there. On the ground. And the Saints weren't buying that. Hendrickson will make up for it.
Yeah.
He met Josh Jacobs in the backfield.
30 seconds on the clock.
Stafford looking on first down, wrapped up. Down he goes. Back at the 39-yard line, Trey Hendrickson.
It is 3rd down. The official said 2nd. 3rd down and 12. Here's Herbert in all sorts of trouble, and he is taken down. Trey Hendrickson, who's off to an excellent start up front for the Saints. The sacks leader picks up his 4th of the season. Pressure. Herbert not going to get out of there. Nearly lost the football, too. Jordan and Hendrickson combined to get there, and that football nearly popped up.
180.
Bears just 5 out of 14 on 3rd down. Foles has no chance to run for it, and instead he goes down. Brought down by Hendrickson.
Whacked him in practice and led to him being suspended. At the 46, this time it's Jordan and Hendrickson are right there. So Hendrickson may have been cost a full sack. 2nd down and 18. The first sack of Brady tonight, and now you got the 2nd. sacks. You go to this point, and there's Hendrickson again.
An unbeaten team left in the NFL. 3rd down and 5. That's batted down. On 1st down here, another fake. Ryan rolling out, looking for Hurst. It's not there. Matt Ryan going to run and gets tackled from behind that time by Trey Hendrickson. Blitz coming. Ryan under duress, and down he goes again. Trey Hendrickson, the 3rd sack of the day for New Orleans, and the 2nd one for Hendrickson.
Falcons with a touchdown. Ryan to Gage. And now Atlanta in New Orleans territory looking to take the lead as Ryan steps up.
Now they're able to drop him for the 3rd time in this game. 12 on the season. 3rd and 10. Coming after it. Oh, he is crushed. Is that an incompletion or a fumble? Because the Saints fall on it, and Mahomes slow to get up.
Rodney Smith, the rookie, next to Bridgewater. Here comes a New Orleans blitz. And it gets to Teddy. Wrapped up and brought down by Trey Hendrickson, who is having a career year.
3rd and 20 with noise in the jungle.
Backed up. And he goes out.
Motion from Cole Kmet. From the 49 on 1st down. Bengals bring 5. The pressure gets to Fields, and down he goes. Hubbard and Hendrickson met.
And making it tough on your offense.
3rd down and 8. Bengals bring 5-man pressure. Fields in trouble. Ball is out. Loose on the turf, and Fields is able to recover it. Logan Wilson had a chance for a scoop and score after the Hendrickson strip.
McLeod had a hand, somebody grabbed his face mask and yanked him down. Roethlisberger 1st and goal. Moves out of harm's way. Oh, now they get him from behind. Another sack.
Here in Cincinnati, reunited with his quarterback. 1st and 10, 25-yard line for Rodgers and the Packers. And Rodgers taken down. You talked about Trey Hendrickson, one of those free agent signings. 13.5 sacks with the Saints last year. Packers and Bengals tied at 22. 2nd down and 10. Rodgers down. Back at the 48-yard line, Trey Hendrickson.
Buccaneer game on Thursday night NFL football on Fox. Goff with time. Pressure coming, and he's sacked. And a flag comes in as he went down. Trey Hendrickson.
He's emerged here the last couple weeks. 3rd down 8. Hendrickson's on him and brings him down. He's sacked again. 4th one, authored by that Cincinnati D. Big right there to Pirine. Well, Michael Pirine, he's chased right here by Reeder, out of bounds, banged by Hendrickson. And Ogunjobi, he had all kinds of pressure on him. 3rd and goal at the 3. Udoka the block. Now they get him, and down he goes. Now I would think you kick the field goal. Hendrickson gets him back at the 6.
In their first matchup a year ago.
Well, you see Von Bell came down to guard the running back this time, switching it up on defense. Not going to lose that matchup again.
Here's Baker in trouble. There's the 1st sack for the Cincinnati defense. Already with more sacks.
Parker trying to push him to the outside, but when the move was made by Carr, he just fell back inside and got it.
Carr fumbles the football. Hendrickson with the sack, and it's scooped up by Sam Hubbard. Lacrosse skills activate.
But now it's the Steelers' time to turn it up. 1st and 10. Look out! From behind, the ball jarred free. That's a fumble. And Hubbard got it. Knocked away by Hendrickson. Well, that's a fumble. And it is a fumble. And you got to worry about Roethlisberger's shoulder or elbow.
3rd and 18. Deep drop. Herbert, trouble again. Hubbard! It's Hendrickson. And the sack streak remains alive. 8 games in a row.
Under pressure and going down inside the 15-yard line.
Trey Hendrickson.
Never gave up on it because it looked like it was about to be a touchdown.
And now it's a 3rd and 5 for the Broncos. From the gun, rush coming. Bridgewater releases it. Catch is made, and Williams is driven backwards. Trey Hendrickson made sure Williams wasn't going to break away. Still very dangerous receiver. Shotgun for Bridgewater. Protection breaks down. Bridgewater tossed down at the 26-yard line. A surge.
It's Johnson taking it himself, going against Hendrickson, and there's nowhere to go there. Tupou is helping, but Hendrickson, one of the best and a Pro Bowler, with 13 sacks this season, throws him for a loss of 2, back to the 26. Josh Johnson, who was signed 10 days ago, gets the start. 1st and 15 around Villanueva, brought down by Hendrickson. Sack number 14. McCary the block at the right, tackle the ball, drive free, and here goes Johnson, being chased on the play by Pratt, and brought down from behind. Bell also got a hand on him, got to the 43, and picks up 7, and it's 4th down. Here comes the Baltimore punting unit.
3rd and 8. Blitz comes from the Bengals. And hit from behind. The ball is loose. It's picked up by Ogunjobi. Larry Ogunjobi at the 15-yard line. Hendrickson forced it with the pressure off the edge. Ogunjobi scooped it, and the Bengals are in great position.
There's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you pretend to like sports, or your girlfriend's dad would like it better?
What? No, I love sports. Me too.
Think about that interception. Go rip this thing. I know that play at the end of the half has to be sitting there.
3rd down, and he falls again as Hendrickson gets to him.
Go quickly here. Stafford under pressure gets sacked. Back at the 27-yard line.
2nd and 7. Elliott in trouble. What a fine play by Hendrickson, busting across and tackle for a loss.
They send Carter out of the backfield. Flacco hit from behind. The ball is loose. And a fight for it. Trey Hendrickson with the hit. 3rd down and 4. Flacco hit from behind. The ball appeared to pop free, and the Bengals have it. Hendrickson with the hit, and B.J. Hill on the recovery.
As you can see, the Jets are lined up now in their 5-wide formation.
And once again, Trey Hendrickson off the edge, just like we've been seeing all game long.
Caught him one-on-one again.
Gonna hand it off, and that play goes nowhere as the Bengals keyed in on Kamara. Trey Hendrickson leading the charge.
Bell's tackle a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Mariota all by himself in the backfield. Pressure, down he goes. Trey Hendrickson got to him.
The set can't find anywhere to go. And down he goes. In the arms of Hendrickson and Hubbard.
This is another blocking lineman.
Right side this time, Hunt swallowed up. A loss of 2 as Hubbard and Hendrickson made the stop.
They're not just on paper. And so maybe they have to scale it back and simplify to let him play a little bit faster.
Pickett, sideline. Off the hands of Najee Harris. Pickett going down.
Drake. Anthony Brown. Look out! Hendrickson.
Ball's loose.
It is. Reader got it. Vacuums it in. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Hendrickson coughed it up with a big hit. Reader gobbles it in. It's the 3rd turnover by Baltimore. And the 3rd touchdown off a turnover. Brown. Crab. Hendrickson got him. And then finished off by Hilton. Hilton and Hendrickson.
2nd down and 8. Pass rush. Slam down, Hendrickson. 22 sacks the last 2 seasons, back-to-back Pro Bowls. That's a loss of 3.
Cincinnati football, it's 1st and 10 for the Ravens. And Justice Hill is hit hard. Logan Wilson everywhere in this first half.
Young player for this Bengals secondary. He's getting his first start this season. Got a first interception last weekend. Here, Mark Andrews is a challenge for him because of the size disadvantage. But he gets just enough disruption.
He's off to the right of Stafford. Runs an in-cutting route, but Stafford can't get there because Trey Hendrickson wraps him up. Stafford will be swallowed up right on cue. It is Trey Hendrickson.
Tannehill under pressure. It's Hendrickson and B.J. Hill getting through. Initiated by challenge inside of 2 minutes of each half. That time Spears gets rushed by Trey Hendrickson for a loss.
Knows what to do and where to be. That's why he's been so productive.
Off the play fake. Dobbs on the roll with pressure in his face, and Dobbs is going to go down. Allowed just 1 sack last week against the 49ers, but Dax Hill was there first with Hendrickson to finish it off. Still time, but Arizona's got to get to work now. Dobbs under backside pressure. The ball is out. A strip sack, and it's recovered by Sam Hubbard. Trey Hendrickson got him, knocked the ball out. Hubbard recovers.
That's why these losses have been so important, as invaluable as the win over Dallas, because he said we have to stop losing before we can win.
Yeah, that's a great quote, and it's exactly what they're looking for as the sack comes from Trey Hendrickson, his second of the day. Now 2.5 sacks officially.
The Seahawks are on the move in Cincinnati territory. 4 plays, 3 first downs. Pitch it, Walker, spin move, nowhere to go. Hendrickson, first man, and then Hubbard comes in to help. It's a loss of 3 on the play. On the give for Walker, he stumbles down. No room to work. It's a loss of 1 on the play. First and goal from the 7. Smith. Spin. Smith is dumped back at the 20-yard line. Hendrickson and Hubbard.
First down. That time, unable to get away. Never had a penalty-free game, and they got within 2 minutes of having one. So Purdy is chased down, and the ball is out and recovered by Hill. Hendrickson forced it. The strip sack, and now this game is over.
Mike Boone is the back, 3rd down and 6. There's a 5-man rush. That ball is free and floating and grabbed by Hilton. Now, did the arm go through? Was it a pass or was it an incompletion? They're ruling it incompletion.
It was a little bit of an awkwardness on that handoff, and then Trey Hendrickson.
Their capability of being able to be aggressive.
Yeah, the defense was apologetic last week. Meanwhile, no apologies there that time. That's Hendrickson.
Eddie Faulkner, the running back coach, a close relationship with Harris and Warren. Spin move. Pickett gets out of it, but could not stay upright. So Trey Hendrickson will get credit for it on the pressure.
Lawrence goes down. Ball came out, and Lawrence is grabbing at his leg.
He has done a tremendous job for the injured Jonathan Taylor. Here comes the pressure. Minshew's in trouble, and he's going down. Trey Hendrickson got a piece of that. Minshew, he's hit from behind, and it's incomplete. There is a flag, however, that comes in. Trey Hendrickson deflected it, and the Bengals actually picked that one off. It's B.J. Hill. The ball was in the air, and B.J. Hill came in to scoop it.
He's up at the top in the 3-by-1 inside, so he'd have to work the middle of the field. Pierce is crossing, got a chance there.
And Minshew has no chance. Hendrickson gobbles him up.
Bengals blitzing. Mullins gets dropped at the 11-yard line. Jermaine Pratt
and Trey Hendrickson team up.
Every zone of this Bengals defense.
First play, Mullins being pressured and he gets dropped. Trey Hendrickson.
Rudolph, play action on second down. Pocket collapses. Hendrickson gets two arms around him, and Rudolph is dumped.
We need to survive their first 15 scripted plays, including a screen play that hopefully we can hold to like 10 or less, not 25 yards. Here's the 3rd and 7, and the ball comes out. It's stripped out of the hands and recovered by Cincinnati. Hendrickson stripped it. What a year he's having, and Cincinnati is set up inside the 25.
3rd and 8. Where they like to spy the quarterback, drop 2 guys out and spy him.
Down the field. Oh, Watson almost pulled it in. Incomplete.
It gives you a little more confidence.
3rd down and 9. Driscoll. Pressure's coming. Driscoll's wrapped up. Driscoll's going down. Trey Hendrickson was the first one there.